but they were kind of a bit like, oh my gosh, this is so much work. And like the homework rate is mad. Am I really going to be doing this much work for the rest of my life? Yeah, it just you get used to it. It's just kind of it's nice having the deadlines and like knowing that each week is going to be the exact same, your homework's going to be in at 8 o'clock the following morning or whatever. Don't compare yourself to like your other friends. We finished so much earlier, which is actually quite nice knowing you're like, oh, they're still doing their course and I'm just doing revision.
In the year, so whereas we
Yeah.
were teaching at like Easter time.
Because I know people who are like still like 2 modules behind us.
Does that mean that it's busier for you during the time, like now, when we're still learning stuff?
I feel like we do everything at a faster rate. Our lessons are like 2 hours and you kind of work for them 2 hours. And then the homeworks are essentially filling in the gaps, doing all the practice questions.
Something else I remember you said from last week, on the bus, you take that time to relax.
We finish school at 3:30. I'm normally home by 4:30. So then I tried just using the bus, doing what like on that time I would like listen to music, I would check my phone, check social media, etc. And using that time to relax, that when I got home, it was then like, right, I'm home. Now let's do some homework. Now let's do some revision. Now let's do some.
Because you've had your relaxation time and you're ready to go again.
Most of the time you get on the bus having just done a lesson. So you could have been sitting there for 2 hours doing work. The last thing you then want to do, that then hour is not going to be productive if you've just already done 2 hours off something. Same in the morning. It's just kind of listen to music, do whatever you like to do. And then you kind of get to school and you're like, right, now I'm at school. Now let's be productive.
I'm trying to imagine that first week or two of year 12. Any tips for that?
It's a bit like going to uni, for instance. It's a complete change. I'm in the city during the day and I've got to try and stop myself from going shopping.
I guess especially if you haven't got lessons in the afternoon.
Yeah.
It'd be so easy to sort of assume, the day's done, I'm done. But no, you got to make use of that time.
Yeah.
What was it like with settling in and being amongst Sir Isaac? We get students from all schools.
Everybody is coming from somewhere. So literally everybody is like, oh, wow, there's people I've got to get to know. I think on the first day, because I remember this because when you go in and you take your row, you sit in your row with which tutor group you're in.
Yeah.
And it was kind of like the people come down and they're like, oh, are you in this form? And then you just kind of sit next to you. And then you're all kind of sitting there a bit awkwardly but you soon find that you're like, Sir Isaac is more of like everybody in your year. It's just kind of like you can go up and talk to anybody in your classes.
I think so. The students at Sir Isaac, you're all quite similar because we're math and science. Yeah. We're all happy to talk about math and science. And you don't get the people that don't like math and science and look at us weirdly like.
And whereas before, if I like mention any of that to like my old high school people, they're like, oh, that's weird. You enjoy maths. But I'm like, yeah, I like the fact that I spend most of my time having no idea what's going on. And then you suddenly have the revelation of like, oh, wow, this is how you do it. And then you're like, really like, yes, I've got it. If you don't get it, don't wait till year 13 in the hope that you'll suddenly get it. Is try and get the help there and then. And also, don't be afraid to ask the teachers. I got Mr. Jackets to go through vectors. He must have taught it to me about 6 or 7 times now. The teachers are like trying to help. Like they're there. Like for physics, they're constantly holding support sessions. Like just come along, ask questions. And also how the lessons are laid out, it makes it really easy. And I was like, oh, I don't remember learning this. Like, can you help me? And they could give me the exact lesson code where it was. So then you just find that lesson code and we're like, yeah, we did get taught this. Everything is still there from the start of year 12. So, and also on your notes, I would say like try and make your revision stuff in year 12 for them units rather than wait until year 13 and going back. And also try around with different methods. I learn like this. How can I revise?
That's a big thing, I think, learning how you learn.
And then ask people how they revise and then try it for like a week, 2 weeks, see if you think it works. If not, try something else.
All right. Thank you, Tegan. That's
okay.
That's really cool. Really, really cool.